Hey kids, welcome to another episode of Glen Yaps. We're down in the recording studio. Been down here a lot lately. Got lots of ideas. Um, Trying to work into full songs. I'm also digging in the archives. I've got hundreds of songs in my archives that I've worked on and trying to complete now. So we've got some songs I'm going to give you a little previews of. Just the ideas. One is almost done. It's called Swamp Fly. I wrote this riff. Man, it's got to be 15, 18 years ago, and kept playing around with it. So I kind of got influenced by the country rock bug. So instead of making it a blues type song, it's definitely going to have that country vibe to it. So still got to put bass on it. All the guitars are pretty much done. I've been playing around with different. I have all the vocals, but I've been playing around with different ways to sing it and stuff like that. I was going to get somebody else to sing it, but I changed my mind. I'm just going to do it myself. Just a lot easier. And we've got, so that was called Swamp Fly. I've got one called Crash. Crash is another song that was originally written on piano. It was a song about a friend, Claudia. Beautiful girl I knew back in high school days. Gave her a ride to the mall one day, and next day she was hit by a car and killed. So it was the last time I saw her, was dropping her off at the mall. And I've always had this song kind of playing around in my head. I wrote it, bits and pieces of it, back in gotta be the 80s. And so kind of adapted different guitar parts. So I'll give you a little taste of just kind of an idea that I'm throwing around with it. That song is not complete, although it has lots of parts. I'm trying to transfer it from piano to guitar and maybe include both. I'm not sure yet. Looking down the list, we've got, let's see, we've got one called Witchcraft. Now, Witchcraft is an instrumental prog rock song that I wrote years ago, and lightning hit our giant satellite dish. We had a 10-foot satellite dish, still do actually. Lightning hit it, came through and fried everything in my studio, including the synthesizer that I had the entire melody programmed into. Never thought about backing it up in digital format, although I have it recorded in audio snippets. So what's going to happen is, the drums were all done. The drums are pretty all over the place on this song. But anyways, I'm going to have to redo all the keyboards with new sounds and stuff because the synth was literally fried and it couldn't be repaired. So I'm going to update the sound of it, but the song is actually totally written. I'll give you a taste of that, although I don't have a great recording of the song with drums. It's kind of just like a mic hanging around the drum set, so I'll give you a taste of that. Also one called Rock Sandwich. That's just a working title. I always put goofy titles on my stuff until I'm done. Sometimes the title stays goofy, but this one's called Rock Sandwich, and I did some experimenting with it in just recording each of my parts in single bars, and I tried to get the best sound I could out of each bar or each couple of bars of music. So if it was a guitar chord, I made sure it was just a chord going for 2 bars or whatever. So everything was like that except for the drums. The drums I played all the way through, but just give you a snippet, the outro section to that. I'm still working on that one. I don't have any really lyrics for it at the moment. Got a few melodies, but you're only going to hear the music in this. But the cool thing about it is the isolation factor. I isolated my amps, surrounded them with foam, and got a pretty good guitar sound out of them on these particular bars of music, or every 2 bars. And the advantage of that is you can make it super clean and only play each bar one at a time. I like the sound of it, and it sounds really full, but it took so long. It just took forever. That's why I'm kind of struggling with finishing the song. It just took forever. Let's see, what else do we got on here? There's one called Alien Finger Puppet. That is kind of more synthesizer based. I like playing around with synthesizers. Got Invaders from a Sponge Planet, another goofy title. Got some soul ones here. I'm trying to see where they are here. I tried doing some, like I write upstairs, and I don't have a drum set up there, so I use a keyboard, and bang the kick and snare just to help keep time. So not very good, but it gets my idea down. So I wanted a kind of a old soul kind of song with horns and keyboards. So I just got a small segment of it, but I've got other ideas laid down, but I'll just give you a segment of that. Yeah, so plus I'm digging up some old guitar riff ones that I wrote for a project called The Morning Glory, and I'm still going to do those. I've got a lot of them recorded right now, so we'll see if I have time to put all that on this little video. I don't want it to go too long, but songs on there are going to be Elastic Man, Microstatic Bend, and Running from the Enemy. So we'll see if I got time for that. I'm looking at my screen here trying to figure out some here. Yeah, I got one called Dirty Bugger, one Slushy, Snow Puddle, and Soul Behavior. Those are, like, Dirty Bugger is an electronic drum beat I came up with synthesizer. Just kind of playing around with my electronic pads running through the computer. And like I say, I'll give you a taste of that. So here is Swamp Fly first. See if I can get the volumes right. That's a taste of that one. There's no bass on that. I've got a bass line all set for it. I've been playing around with it for the last couple of days. Struggling to make it fit in the song sound-wise, not so much playing-wise, just there's a lot going on. So anyways, that's Swamp Fly. It's finally done, except for the bass line and maybe a couple of piano or organ parts still. And then just kind of mix it. We'll give you Soul Behavior. Just kind of, I believe this is the one with the horns in it. Nothing totally complete by this. It's just a rough demo that I do. I do a lot of demos upstairs. So the drumming is done just with 2 fingers on a keyboard, so there's no metronome, so it's all over, but it gives you an idea of what it is. So that's one idea to that song. There's actually a few other parts to it, obviously. I like doing all my parts and then blending it together when I do the final setup in the studio. So those are just my ideas. Here's another one. This one's called Slushy Snow Puddle. That's the working title. Drumming with 2 fingers, very weird. Yeah, that's kind of influenced by the sound of the late 70s. I kind of like some of that stuff. So here's a modern one I did using electronic drum pads. So this one's called Dirty Bugger. Anyways, there's other parts to that one too. No words or lyrics. I like doing instrumentals because I've always wanted to do soundtracks to movies. It's just a dream I've had. Whether that ever happens, I've submitted some of my stuff to independent films in Canada and stuff, and even just to let them use it and just give me recognition for it. No pay, but none's been used yet, but I keep trying. Okay, I'm going to play Crash for you. Like I say, this song is almost done. It's got lyrics and that, but in this version I'm just experimenting. trying to incorporate guitar differently for this song. Hard to explain. Sometimes you finish a song or you have it kind of in the, you know, in the stages where it's almost ready to start recording good, and then you have a change of heart and want to try it different. So this is the song I wrote about Claudia. Say a beautiful girl, wonderful human being who died really young in a car crash, a good friend of mine. And so I wrote this song about her. Always been hard to finish it. But anyways, it's called Crash. Electronic drums. You get the idea. That's just kind of a middle section, just experimenting with. Like I say, there's words and melody all for that song. That one's a tough one, though. It's just because of the memory of her. Let's see. What else have we got? I don't know if this is the one. Like I say, I have tons and tons and tons of ideas here, so I'll try that again. This one's called Invaders from a Sponge Planet. That's just a working title, but very synthy. Well, not so much techno. I just like these big, fat keyboard sounds. So. Anyways, you get the idea. There's whole other parts to that one too. That one is a ways away from being done. Okay, we have one called the Iger Effect, which I've done videos on before. It's just an acoustic thing I'm playing around with. But I've been doing another version with all electric, and I kind of like it better with the acoustic, so give you a taste of that. That's called the Iger Effect. That one's influenced by Kate Bush. I love Kate Bush's music, so that's kind of my I guess kind of an influence from her. There's a lot more to that song than what you hear. That's just the first part of the demo. And the Spanish guitar is probably not going to be in there. I just tried it for some ideas. So this one's called Underworld. I wrote the riff years ago. I wrote the song years ago, but didn't like it. And redid parts. And again, this is just a rough demo with drums. See if this is the right version. It's that's the rough demo. It's being done in good as we speak. So actually I was working on the bass for that one just before we got into this little video. And let's see, what else do we got going here? Oh yeah, one called Rock Sandwich. I gotta watch the volume on this one because this one's pretty loud. It's hard for me to get all the steady volumes because I'm forever taking stuff down and moving things around, so you never get the same sound twice. So this one's called Rock Sandwich. Let's see if I got this right. Anyways, that's kind of the outro section to that. Like I say, it's almost complete, but it's just so much work the way I recorded it because like I was running multiple amps at the same time, and then had them all wrapped in foam. I've got all this soundproofing foam and just surrounded the amps with it. And then once I recorded the tracks of a few bars of each, I layered them. So there's like maybe I think 5 guitars just squashed on each other. and it gives this big sound, but it's just the time factor. Like, I want to write songs. I don't want to become an engineer, even though that's part of this, sound engineer. My thing is to write music. So and try and get it as presentable as possible. I'm not out to be engineer of the year. So it was just taking so much time that I got a little frustrated with it. So I do have other parts to it, and it sounds really good, but definitely I won't be doing that too often. Let's see if I got something else in here. I've got so many ideas, it's just crazy. I'll give you the Elastic Man. This is an old demo. That one, the microstatic blend. Those are pretty much complete songs. I've already recorded a lot of them. So these are just the demos. When I write songs, I make demos with a drum machine or sometimes with an electronic pad that I have on the late at night. I can't play drums in the studio, but I can play electronics. So I run the electronics through headphones and a line to the board, and that's what you kind of hear here. Okay, so one other one. There's more. I mean, there's lots more, but Witchcraft. Now, Witchcraft, kind of influenced by bands like that. Planet X, I think, was one with Virgil Donati on drums. That guy's just an amazing drummer. Oh shit, amazing. So Witchcraft, I got a bunch of parts here. Now, like I say, the original keyboard program track is long gone from a lightning strike, shorting out everything in my studio at the time and frying the hard drives and frying my synthesizer with its memory banks of this song. So I lost it, but I do have audio recordings, even though they're not great. So just give me a sec here. I'm going to try and find the right one. So that's part of it there. See if I can get some of the other parts here. See if I can find some of the this part. And then I think anyways, this part's missing. I have it in the audio version, so I have to redo all these keyboards, which I've already started. Like I say, the drum tracks, the drum parts are already designed, except I might vary a few things I'm going to change, but I'm going to give you a version of this with the raw drums now. Sound quality is horrible because it was just one mic over my big drum set running with the speaker system that was available at the time. I was showing a friend on how I played some of the parts, so I'm going to try and get it past our talking and just get to what roughly the drums are in this demo. get the idea. That part there is still in the song, but the piece is missing. It's in that song, but it got wiped out. I never had a copy of it, so it's the only recording I have of the synthesizer boom, 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 boom part in there. So it's a good thing I have that, because that whole idea would have been gone out of my head. So it's just one of those things to back up your stuff, but at the time it was just a fluke, because I was writing it at the time and then lightning kind of hit the house. Anyways, that song is it's pretty long. It's about I think 6, almost 7 minutes long. I like long songs anyways. So the drums are done beginning to end. Just have to record the good versions. A lot of keyboard shots and everything, they're all, I'm triggering those. They're not actually programmed, I'm triggering them. So you're going to see when I do a video of it, I might do it one tomorrow, just working on the parts to get them fresh in my head when I do record it better. I'll be triggering the parts, all the sound effects. It's like, it's a lot of fun. So that's what I was showing my buddy in that actual recording. So anyways, that's the scoop for now. I'm pooched. It's been a long day, and kind of need a little downtime from doing the studio thing. Lots of stuff. I appreciate all the comments, the good comments on the last song I put up called Sugarface. Fairly simple song. Kind of a bittersweet one, influenced by someone in my life that we weren't getting along, so it's kind of a song for that. And that's typical of me to write songs of good and bad things that are going on in the old Glen camp. So I gave her a copy of it. I don't know if she enjoyed it or not, but it's not a it's definitely not a total positive song. But anyways, I appreciate everybody who gave comments on it. I mean, it's kind of been played pretty good on Reverb Nation. I think I've got it on a few other platforms, but YouTube, but it's not really playing too much on there. But Reverb Nation usually does fairly well. So again, free to listen to. A different style again for me. I like to mix things up. So anyways, that's it for now, and thanks for listening. And more originals coming. I might have Swampfly actually done this week and be online for everybody to listen to. It'll be free, my usual thing. So anyways, take her easy.